The following feature presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on this Halloween episode 438 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
I have some interesting insights on amusement parks, which I always wondered about, horror amusement parks.
Okay, all right. So I guess we got to the bottom of that mystery. It should be Alan Sanborn's Fright Fest.
Yeah, no kidding.
Brought to you by Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Absolutely.
What would you like to see happen with the skeleton? And she said, I want to see him get a family.
Every Halloween, Linus must find what kind of pumpkin patch to wait for the great pumpkin.
The one that is the most sincere.
I got a rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Magic mirror on the wall. All the forces of evil I call.
Hello, darling. This is ELVIRA, Mistress of the Dark, and I'm skywalking through Neverland. Are you?
Trick or treat, Skywalkers! It's our favorite time of the year when everything tastes like pumpkin spice. Do you know why?
Why?
Because it's Halloween!
Woo!
There's so much fun coming up in this episode, but you'll have to wait. Because right now, we want to welcome everyone to Skywalking Through Neverland. You know you're having a good Halloween season when ELVIRA says she's skywalking through Neverland.
I love it.
All right, now, I am Richard Wolosky, but everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife of 14 years.
Oh, that's me.
Happy anniversary eve, sweetie.
Happy anniversary eve. Aww. It's so exciting. 14 years. How has it been 14 years?
1 year built onto the second year, built onto the third year.
Just keeps going and
Before
going.
we knew it, we gave birth to a podcast.
I know. And some books.
And some books and a YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh.
It's been a very, very productive 14 years.
Yes, it has. We are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, pop culture, and Marvel fandom. So, imagine a witch's cackle and a
Oh, she's really happy.
oh my goodness, and a loud thunderclap for our family of Skywalkers. This is very
was a
scary.
Very loud thunderclap.
It
Warn
was
me when
very
you're going
loud.
to do that.
I'm sorry.
Now, warn everyone what's coming up in this episode.
I will. Okay, so in this episode, we speak to Mr. Halloween himself, Alan Sanborn. Not only does he produce live Halloween shows for the past 30 years?
Plus.
Yes, he is also a professional Maze Ghoul at Six Flags Magic Mountain here in Los Angeles. And we put his knowledge to the test with some Skywalking brand trivia, as well as learn what it's like to be a Maze Ghoul and all this fun Halloween stuff.
Yeah,
it's a great show.
Share so many fun stories. I can't wait to get to it. But right now, we're going to tell everyone that we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations. They are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency and can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world. And best of all, this service is free. Free of charge. So head over there to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote. And tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you, and give them a little witch's cackle. Sarah, give a little witch's cackle. Whoa, that was your best witch's cackle yet.
Right? Did you like the reverb on that?
I did, very, very much so. All right, now we are recording this from Long Beach, California on October the 24th, 2023. All right, Sarah. Halloween countdown. Now, before you do that, can we play the Silver Shamrock song?
No.
Please?
No.
Please?
Mm-mm.
You know I'm going to add it in anyway. You gotta love post-production.
Don't do it.
I'm going to do it. I'm sorry. It's the last time I can do it until next year. So, sing it, Silver Shamrocks. Sing away.
No.
Yep. I can still hear it.
No, bad.
Mm-mm.
All right, well, there are only 7 days until Halloween. I'll shut up Silver Shamrock by saying that.
All right, fine. 7. One more week. I'm not ready for Halloween season to be over.
No.
It just started in like June?
Yeah, and it's almost over, and this doesn't make any sense at all.
Not whatsoever.
No.
Not whatsoever. Let's milk this. Minnie? Minnie! We want to know what time it is, Minnie.
Oh my. Oh, I must check the time.
With a drum roll.
That's right.
Was that your footsteps?
That was my footsteps.
Okay, sound like a drum roll.
My footstep.
You made the whole camera shake.
I know. Okay. All right, well, it is 3:12 p.m. You're late.
I'm not late. I'm right on time. Well, tell everyone what time zone. Come on. We want to get very, very accurate.
Okay, it's Disneyland time.
There you go. Perfect. All right, Minnie, I got to ask you now, what happened today in Star Wars history?
Well, that's a question for you. Minnie, go away. It's Richard's turn.
Oh, you said, look at Minnie. Standing over there in the corner, head hung low.
She's not even on the balloon.
Minnie's being dissed this Halloween.
She really is.
2023 is the year for dissing Minnie Mouse. Not fair.
Oh, okay, so what did happen today in Star Wars history?
All right, on this date, October 24th in 2005, that was 18 years ago, Revenge of the Sith wins Hollywood Movie of the Year at the Hollywood Movie of the Year Awards.
Excellent.
Every time you give a Star Wars film an award, you gotta love it. Because you know what? If the Oscars are gonna snub Star Wars, then let everyone else give Star Wars the awards.
They win all the popular choice awards.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The People's Choice Awards. That's
Right.
what the MTV Awards. That's what really matters. Now, in this, the Hollywood Movie of the Year Awards, winners are chosen by public voting online at the Yahoo Movies and Entertainment Tonight websites. More than 70,000 people cast their votes for their favorite movies, and Revenge of the Sith received nearly 1/3 of the votes.
Wow.
Take that, Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the Emmys do give Star Wars a lot of love. But take that, Academy Awards. All right, now let's hop on to tomorrow. What happened on this date tomorrow, meaning October 25th in 2009. Sarah, what happened on that date?
That was the day we got married.
We got married.
And we had a Star Wars Disney Masquerade Ball wedding.
Yeah, we did. That was a... Oh, go ahead. Oh,
well, should we share some pictures?
You have pictures loaded up. Let's see some of these pictures.
Okay, yes. If you are watching on YouTube, then you will see all these fun pictures, like the moment that Richard first saw me in a wedding dress.
Yes. I know you're not supposed to see the bride before the wedding, but we had to take our wedding pictures before the wedding.
Right. Yeah.
So this time around, you know what?
Worked.
Yeah, we didn't go with all that superstition.
Yeah.
And there's Sarah once again leading the charge. So there's Sarah being a line monitor.
Yeah, that's right. All of the groomsmen and the bridesmaids are all in a line. And who's in line with us?
The ring bearer.
Yeah, who's that?
R2-D2.
That's right. R2-D2.
So this is over at El Dorado Park, right here in Long Beach.
Yes.
And the location we really wanted was like maybe a third of a mile into the woods.
Right.
Only on this date, there was a gate. Go back.
Oh.
There was a gate. So go back.
Right here?
Yeah, right here.
Oh,
so right behind
right
behind that last person there's
Yeah.
a gate. You can't really see it, but there's a gate right there.
You'll be able to see it.
Our plan was negated.
Exactly. Yeah, but we got some great shots here. Here, this looks like Naboo almost, where we're sitting at the edge of a lake and R2's looking on.
R2's looking at us like, don't you guys got a wedding to get to?
Yeah.
Don't you have a chapel to get to?
Exactly. There's a beautiful bridge.
Oh, there's
here.
the gate.
Here's the gate. The fence.
Yes.
The fence in place, and all the groomsmen used it as their backdrop.
You would think with all of our lightsabers, we'd be able to cut that gate right down. We even brought like 20 pumpkins with us.
That's right.
Yeah, well, we're gonna go and scout the location with the photographer, then go back get the pumpkins. But at this point, it's like, you know what? We don't have much time. Let's just go ahead and forgo the pumpkins. We'll just have lightsabers.
Yeah, and it was really fun. All right, I channeled my best
1930s.
Yeah, 1930s look.
Like Myrna
there.
Loy.
And there was stormtroopers.
There was
at our wedding.
stormtrooper security. Yeah, Sarah, what is he doing? What are those two troopers doing there?
Well, that was a gentleman who objected to our wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And the stormtroopers came up and said, no one's objecting to this.
When the officiant said, "Does anyone object to this wedding?" This bozo, who was that guy? He stood up and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna oppose this." And all of a sudden, stormtroopers just flanked him. They took the guy right out.
And because it was a masquerade ball, a lot of
Yeah.
our guests dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a
We invited
vampire.
vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And then our groomsmen at the end had an archway of lightsabers.
yeah. And right up top here, we see the Ralph McQuarrie stormtroopers because they're holding lightsabers. Didn't realize that
Nice.
until now.
Aw. And Dad, my engineer Dad, finagled a Tinkerbell to fly around the cake topper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a great portrait of R2-D2 holding the ring, or bearing the ring.
Right. So, and if anyone ever gets married at Star Wars Celebration, and if you see R2 wearing a red bow tie, that's the bow tie.
Yeah. And my mom made that bow tie.
Mm-hmm.
And the pillow.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's right. But it's a Disney wedding too, so our signature drink was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
What flavor is that?
It was, well, it says 3 ounces champagne, 1 ounce Chambord, real raspberry garnish, and don't forget a spoonful of sugar. Aww.
I'm hoping they didn't really put the spoonful of sugar. I didn't have one of those drinks.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I was just so
man.
busy. Yeah.
This is one of my favorite photos. My dad walking me down the aisle.
Oh.
He looks so proud. It's so sweet.
Of course, he was very, very proud.
Yeah. Aw. There's the ring bearer and C-3PO, which was a surprise for me.
Yeah, because Sarah knew about R2 because R2 delivered the ring for the engagement, but I kept C-3PO a secret.
Yes.
No one knew until that back curtain parted, and there he was. There's Dave Scale taking the ring off of R2's pillow.
He's the best man.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we got married, we said our vows, and then we had a big celebratory, lots of pictures with our whole wedding party, plus R2 and 3PO and stormtroopers.
I think what you're seeing here represents maybe a quarter of the pictures that were taken.
Oh,
but
yeah.
These are like the best of.
Yeah. These are some really fun pictures. I'm going to zoom through some of these.
Okay.
If you're watching the YouTube version, enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, there's sexy Sarah with a blaster.
Yep. And this is the classic poster pose.
The Princess Leia
Yeah.
pose. With
I've got
me
my
with the
blaster.
lightsaber.
Mhm.
Why
Yeah.
wasn't that lightsaber turned on?
I think it probably was. You just can't tell
Okay.
because of the lights. And I just love this picture of the stormtrooper holding the bouquet going, what am I doing?
My training did not prepare me for this.
Oh, there's a view of our cake, which has...
Oh, Anakin and Padme, which
Yeah.
are right over here in this display case.
Yep.
And the cake topper is in the garage.
Yes.
We need to take that out and put it on display.
Yeah. And then we all changed for the reception, and all the groomsmen put on superhero shirts. At this time, the MCU wasn't really a thing yet. Otherwise, we would have probably worn MCU characters, right?
Yeah, we had Iron Man and the Hulk. But
Well, did
that
we-
was about
Yeah.
it.
Oh, okay.
It was like we were like 1 or 2 films into the MCU at this point.
And you had the Superman shirt.
Yes,
At
because
that point,
yes,
Superman was my favorite.
yes.
Yes. And I blinged out your S on the
Mhm.
Superman shirt, and I changed into a red, awesome cocktail dress, very blingy, and we did our first dance for everyone. It was a swing dance, and we had worked on it. We had all kinds of fun lifts
Mm-hmm.
and everything. So,
And we
yeah.
danced to "Hungry Like the Wolf" by Duran Duran,
yeah. But yeah,
but in a swing version.
swing dance version.
Yeah.
Aw, what a trip down memory lane.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, thank you.
So tomorrow is our 14th anniversary, and we're gonna go look at Halloween lights tomorrow night. All right, with that, Sarah, let's get into things we want to share.
Things we want to share. Things we want to share. Things we want to share.
I'm gonna say it was like 2014 or 15. We had gone to a press event at Not Scary Farm, and the press had a chance to speak to ELVIRA, Mistress of the Dark.
Yes.
This is like one of our first celebrity encounters.
It was. And we were like, I think we had just, if not just gotten our Zoom, it was one of the first times we're taking it out.
Right.
I think. And so we're like, okay, we have this chance to talk to ELVIRA. And we weren't sure if we were going to get to speak to her because there was a bunch of people to talk to, right? Including the Maze creators and things like that.
And everyone wanted to speak to ELVIRA.
Of course.
And we thought, oh, when that line dies down,
oh yeah,
we'll get in that line. Never say that.
Yeah.
Because guess what happened?
Well,
they capped the line.
Oh yeah, they capped the line.
And we said, could we just get her to say one thing?
Yes.
One thing, and that's just, I'm ELVIRA and I'm skywalking through Neverland. You heard that in the intro. That was recorded then. Then ELVIRA kept talking to us.
Yes, and the handlers didn't shoo us away. So guess what? We continued our conversation.
All right, so this is our conversation. Very off the cuff because we didn't know what was happening. Should we stop? Should we go on? ELVIRA is she keeps on telling these stories. Like, I'm not gonna stop until someone drags us away.
Yep.
Until finally someone had to come back around and kind of give us the wrap up signal. It's like, oh, okay. We got what we want, got much more than we wanted.
Oh yeah.
So let's go ahead and roll that in.
We are back once again at Not Scary Farm 2014 with Miss Halloween herself, ELVIRA.
Hello. Wow.
So how many years have you been here at Not Scary Farm?
You will not believe. I did 21 years here. Then I took a 12-year hiatus. Now I'm back for the last 2 years. It's awesome. It's like, I went into the grave there for a while. Now I'm back. I'm alive.
Now, what would be some of the highlights?
Some of the highlights this year, the show is called ELVIRA's Big Top, so there's going to be a lot, like a 3-ring circus going on under my big top, I can tell you. And there's going to be a lot of different acts. There are Academy of Villains who are fantastic dancers, just got done doing So You Think You Can Dance. They're amazing. And then there's a lot of freak shows, circus, sideshow acts that we're going to incorporate this year. So that's right up my alley. I can't wait for that.
Now, being Mistress of the Dark, is there something you look forward to every Halloween here at Not Scary Farm?
Yeah, I look forward to just being at the world's #1 biggest, longest running, largest, most fantastic Halloween venue. So I'm happy to be here. I'm more than happy. I'm thrilled.
Now, is there a Mr. ELVIRA?
There is not one particular Mr. ELVIRA. There's lots of Mr. ELVIRA. Oh, okay, well, let's not go there. All right. You guys are like, oh, uh-oh.
Now, what scares ELVIRA?
Let's see. Doing this interview. Oh, well, no. Just doing an interview scares me. But pretty much nothing. I'm pretty much fearless, I'd say. Yeah.
So after Halloween, all the scares are done. What do you do for vacation?
I just hop back in my coffin, slam the lid, and take a couple of months rest in there and kind of regenerate. And that's kind of it. Then I come back, and I'm as good as new.
Do you ever hang out with the girlfriends like Lily Munster or Morticia?
Oh, yeah, I hang out with those all the time. Them, Vampira, they're my peeps. So, we hang out in the hood.
Now, out of all of those Morticias and Vampiras and Lily Munsters, is there one that's just not on par with you girls? One who just wants to get catty and wants to talk about Vernon Munster?
Is there one? Golly, I don't know. Maybe I better not go there. I don't want to name any names, you know what I'm saying?
What's your favorite drink?
Ooh, my favorite drink? Well, you would think it would be a Bloody Mary, but actually it's Coca-Cola because it has more caffeine.
Is there one part, for final question, is there one part of your show this year that you're really looking forward to?
Yes, I'm doing a knife throwing act, and I cannot wait. It's going to be an unsuspecting participant in the audience, and I just can't wait to get somebody up there and practice my knife act with them, right? Yeah, I'm just practicing. I'm brand new at this, so hopefully it'll go well.
Well, thank you very much,
Yeah.
ELVIRA, Mistress of the Dark.
You're welcome.
I think that was like all of 4 minutes, but it seemed like forever.
Yeah, it did.
Right?
It did.
Yeah. And then I was like kind of looking at her makeup because this is the real ELVIRA, and And her makeup is like so crazy with the eyeliner that goes like way down almost to her nose and then up and around her eyes. Like I was just like staring at her.
Yeah, I was staring at her too.
Well, you weren't staring at her face though. It's okay.
I'm not gonna say it.
It's okay.
For many reasons.
She was in very good shape.
Yes. At this point, she was like in her late 50s, I would
Okay.
say.
Yeah.
Late 50s.
And just very, very good shape.
yeah, she keeps
Wow.
very good care of herself.
Mhm.
All right, now, speaking of taking very good care of ourselves, guess what? We have some Halloween advice coming up from R2-D2 and C-3PO. Here is where they tell you how you can pick out just the right costume.
Who should I be this year? Mickey? Donald? Perhaps Goofy? Yes, Artu, you are so right. Maybe something closer to home. Something like Iron Man. Oh, hello. I am C-3PO, and this is my counterpart, R2-D2. We are here once again at Skywalking through Neverland to bring you some more important Halloween safety advice. Today we will look at selecting an appropriate and safe costume. Firstly, plan a costume that is bright and reflective for greater visibility. Make sure your costume is short enough to prevent tripping, entanglement, or contact with flame. Please obtain a flashlight with fresh batteries to safely travel in the night. Glow sticks may also be an option. Because masks and helmets can limit or even block eyesight, just ask any of those dreaded Imperial stormtroopers. Consider non-toxic makeup and decorative hats as safer alternatives. Yes, Artu, I'm sure they do them in your size. If a lightsaber, vibro axe, or electro staff is a part of your costume, make sure it is not too sharp or long. You may be easily hurt by these accessories if you stumble or happen to trip. You may even lose a hand. Poor Master Luke. Oh dear. Well, Artu, I think that about covers everything. Now Artu wants me to remind you about the most important safety tip of all. You stepped on my line. I was supposed to say, never land on Alderaan. You mindless philosopher, why I choose to degrade myself working with a glorified plumber is beyond my programming. I'll hear no more of it.
Oh, isn't that nice of R2 and 3PO to come by the Skywalking Studios and record that for us?
That was amazing.
Yeah, because you know what, like us, we want to make sure everyone is safe this Halloween. All right, now, before we talk with Mr. Halloween himself, Alan Sanborn, we want to remind you that we are going to be hosting our Pop Culture Trivia Strikes Back game show at LostCon right here in Los Angeles on November the 24th at 8 p.m. If you've been to our Star Wars Trivia Challenge Strikes Back, you'll know how much fun this is. We've been working a couple of months on this one. It's going to be so much fun. How much fun? About that much fun.
Oh, no. This much fun.
Okay, I'm going to say about this much fun right over there. Yes. Now, along with having a lot of fun at our trivia contest, we are working on some holiday specials for our books, Today in Star Wars History, Volume 1 and 2, and Skywalking Through Our Fandom.
Some holiday special deals. Yes.
So we're going to put all the information about LostCon in our Facebook group. For more information, for the address, for the Marriott, the LAX Marriott, and all you need to know, okay?
We'll do a Facebook event for that. Yes.
So once again, November the 24th, that's a Friday at 8 p.m.
We hope to see you there.
And win some prizes.
Awesome.
This is Peter Renaday. I am the Ghost Host, and I'm skywalking through Neverland.
There's no turning back now.
Halloween would seem incomplete if we did not talk with Mr. Halloween himself, Alan Sanborn.
We've had Alan on in the past to talk about all aspects of Halloween, but this year he's added professional Maze Ghoul to his roster.
Happy Halloween, Alan!
Happy Halloween! How you doing, Richard and Sarah? Hey, hey.
You always gotta start off a conversation with hey, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like you, this is our favorite time of the year. Now, I dub you Mr. Halloween because that's what you are, Mr. Halloween. So
I always an honor.
Yeah?
So, take us through your obsession. How far does it go back, and why Halloween?
Pretty much as far as I can remember. So, all right. Well, I think the best reason is that my grandmother who was a lovely church going lady who taught Sunday school. Anyway, she used to dress up as a Halloween witch for the neighborhood trick-or-treaters. And she, one year early on, asked my sister and I to help her with a party. Oh, and even before that, I remember we used to have a reel-to-reel tape recorder in her living room. And my brothers and sisters and I would record these spooky sounds that would be coming out of her pumpkin-headed ghosts and stuff. So that's from, when I was 3 or 4 years old, I remember doing this. So basically, she asked us one year to do a party to help her with a party she was doing for her senior citizen group at that time. And she said, you can do a party too, if you help me with this. So I made a bunch of props for her, and we helped her with the party. And then we got to do a party, and that just started a whole string of it. And when I would help her set up Halloween each year. And then when she passed away, when I was 14, I gave up trick-or-treating and took over the haunting at our house, brought all those props from her place to our place, started haunting our house. That evolved into backyard tours and everything. And eventually, as you know, into musical productions on the front lawn from like 1990 to 2012.
So it really goes back way into your childhood. And I think anyone obsessed with Halloween has the same kind of a story because it goes back into those fun childhood memories.
Oh,
like
yeah.
me dressing up as Darth Vader, thinking I was Darth Vader. That just blows my mind every year when I think about that, because I remember how good that made me feel.
Mm-hmm. That makes
You
sense.
were Darth Vader.
Yes.
I think my earliest actual memory, there in my mom's closet, deep down in the back where it was all dark, she kept the Halloween box. And for some reason, there were these little, I think they were armbands for trick-or-treaters or something like that, but there was like an owl and a black cat, and they glowed in the dark. And I remember sneaking into the closet. It was like this great adventure to pull those out and look at them in the dark glowing. It's just an early image, but it captures the spookiness and the, of Halloween for me, just that feeling of looking at something spooky in the dark.
Yeah, but my sister recently sent me a witch candle, a glow in the dark witch.
Saw that online. Yeah.
Yes, because that was like one of my favorite Halloween decorations from when I was a kid. And unfortunately, you light it so many times, what's going to happen to a candle? It just collapses.
Right.
And every year I've made her feel guilty because our original one burnt down to like a small nub of a cauldron. And she just threw it away. It's like, how could you throw that away? So this year she found one on eBay from someone who had it, and their grandmother had it in their attic, and they just never opened it, and he just sold it on eBay.
And it was still in the plastic
It was
wrap.
still, in the plastic wrap that it originally came in.
It was like crazy.
Yeah. The candles are a big deal for me too. I remember the little ghost always holding the pumpkin, and the little pumpkin ones and witch ones. We had all those candles that we used to put on the piano,
Aw.
Yeah, so do you have any of your original childhood Halloween decorations?
Pretty much all of them.
Oh, wow. Oh, my
Mostly in
gosh.
storage, but yes, pretty much all of them. As a matter of fact, I just moved into a new place, and I plan to totally Halloween it out now.
Oh, that's exciting. I remember, Richard, you were asking me whether I had any of my old childhood things, and I don't think I do, but I do have a memory of one, like a Mr. Bones. So it was one of those skeletons, those cardboard skeletons. It was about 1.5 feet maybe high, and it had, you could move its arms and legs.
It had like points of articulation.
Exactly.
Right.
And so like every year, my mom and I would have the most fun just like trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to pose it this year on our window?
It's kind of like a precursor to Elf on a Shelf.
Yeah, and I think
Right,
eventually it just kind of deteriorated because
Was this one of these large ones like you could hang on the door, or was it a smaller?
It was a smaller one, so about a foot and a half long, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we just had all kinds of fun.
There's that classic old skeleton that you'd hang on the front door that is like the quintessential Halloween decoration to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
definitely.
definitely had one of those too. Yeah, and every day you'd pose them in a different position.
Oh, yeah.
And I still have a Halloween skull candle.
Yes.
It's still sitting. That's out on our mantle right now. Where when you light it and it drips wax, it's red wax.
Nice.
So this red would drip all over this skull.
And the skull is kind of this, well, like flesh tone or
Yeah,
color.
it's a white.
Yeah.
And I still got like 70% of that left.
I don't see any red wax though. I think all the red wax is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But so you've bled it all.
Yes. It's a skull. How much could it bleed?
If you light it again, maybe it'll bleed more. No.
You know what? I'm not. I couldn't see myself doing that
No,
because
you
I don't
don't
want to
wanna light
ruin
it.
the integrity. Because right now the back of the skull is kind of getting thin from having lit it so many times when
Right.
I was a kid. So I don't want to ruin it any more than I already have. Now you said that you had stopped trick or treating and then gone into doing the haunts. And
Yeah, that's even a theme in a lot of the shows that comes up is the idea that when you stop trick-or-treating, the next step is for you to start doing for other trick-or-treaters to pass on the tradition. So I'm a huge believer in that.
So Halloween never lost any importance to you. Like
Right.
sometimes when you're like in your late teens,
Right.
or
You're-
maybe like mid-teens, like 14 through 17, you're maybe doing the whole high school party thing.
No, I went straight from one to the other, so I never really had a down year.
Oh, that's great to know. Okay.
Yeah, I think the first down year I ever had was like 2012.
Why was that? What?
Because I did a party over at Jim Carrey's house. Oh, did I just name drop?
I think
Wow.
you did.
And by the time I got home, I was so tired, and we went to go see some friends of ours, and I just fell asleep. We were gonna go over to West Hollywood.
Oh, that's right.
And I just sat down and fell asleep. I think everyone was like, "Yeah, Richard's passed out. Let's just watch The Grinch again."
I think we put on Interview with a Vampire. I want to say that's the movie.
Grinch
we were
Interview with a
watching.
Vampire.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing.
You fell asleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you watch Halloween is Grinch Night? A little remembered sequel to How the Grinch Stole Christmas?
No.
You know, as a kid, I don't remember that making an impact on me. Just the other night, I did pull it up on YouTube, and I got through maybe 2 minutes of it. It's like, no.
Yeah. I was gonna say I
I'm good.
wish I could report that it was a classic like the Christmas one, but no.
No.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, because I've
Is it
I
bad?
No
never
reasons.
brought it up, and it didn't have any lasting powers. It's no Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown.
Okay.
No.
It was just not good. Even for the time, maybe the mid '70s, it still wasn't good for that.
Oh.
You know,
But
if you're gonna do
now-
that, just go watch the Paul Lynde Halloween special.
Yeah, or Muppets Haunted Mansion is really fun.
That's fun. That's a
now.
lot of fun. I like that.
It's a really fun special. So that we got Werewolf by Night. We got a lot of fun Halloween things.
There's
Yeah.
still a deplorable lack of Halloween specials compared to like Christmas specials or anything.
Well,
Very
that's
few.
very true.
Yeah, but if you go on Disney Plus, you pull up Halloween, and Toy Story's got a
Yeah.
Halloween
that's
special,
true.
and every
That's
there's
true.
the Star Wars Terrifying Tale Lego holiday specials.
We need to put
Yeah.
these on our list. But you know what? My favorite Halloween movie tradition is to put on Pirates of the Caribbean. Curse of the
Really?
Black Pearl. Yeah. It's actually works really well as a Halloween movie because of all the pirates that are
Sure.
kind of, they're skeletons.
Right.
And it's very spooky, and to have that on with the music while the trick-or-treaters are coming, I really like that. Is there any movie that you like, Alan, that really says Halloween?
I was gonna
to
say
you?
even way back when I used to make compilation Halloween tapes of music, I would put on the Pirates of the Caribbean theme. There's always
Oh.
something a little Halloweeny about it.
Yeah, totally. It's spooky.
Yeah, is there one thing you have to watch? Therefore, it is Halloween.
If there's one thing, it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. I mean, that's like Absolute classic, has to be watched every year.
Yeah.
I'll try to watch Nightmare Before Christmas, but of course that can kind of slip in anywhere between October and December. So
Yeah, last week we watched Great Pumpkin, and
Yeah.
then it felt like Halloween season. Now I've got to say that we did kind of scrub through the whole Red Baron portion.
Yeah.
It just I think they were just running out of ideas. Like, how many times can we claim that Charlie Brown is a loser? How many times can we repeat that same joke?
I got a rock.
I got a rock.
well, all they really had was the Linus Great Pumpkin story to go with Halloween. So everything else is kind of filler, but
That's true.
Right, but in that 22-minute show, I think there was only like a good 10-minute storyline. So they
Yeah.
had to say, let's do something with Snoopy. You got to do something with Snoopy. He can't just be one of the ensemble. Snoopy is Snoopy. So let's give him his own storyline.
His own story, yeah.
that's part of it too for me, though. Him sneaking through the fields, and I love the music and everything as he's doing it.
I think even as a kid, that's when I went to go get a frosty beverage. Like,
Okay, I
I'm
have a
good.
question. In the comic strip, because of course this is based on a comic strip that
Sure.
you got in your Sunday papers, was Snoopy always into the Red Baron? Was
Yes.
that like a thing?
Yes.
Okay. So
Even
that's just...
in the film, which the Peanuts
Oh.
3D animated
Yeah,
film.
which you saw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had a whole big Red Baron sequence.
He's the World War I flying ace who's fighting the Red Baron, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right. So the Red Baron is like his red skull.
Yeah.
Right.
So
But I got a great book a few years back of all of the Great Pumpkin comic strips. of this
Wow.
Linus. And there's actually a lot more material they probably could have used, although maybe some of those came after. But yeah, I mean, it's a great storyline. Just every year he would, or almost every year, Schultz would deal with that, and just a lot of fun.
So you'd think he would do like a sequel
Yeah.
to The Great Pumpkin.
I could.
Maybe The Great Sincere Pumpkin Patch Charlie Brown.
They totally could. There's like tons of those strips.
Huh.
Well, then what came first? I think the movie came out, the TV special came out in 1966.
Right.
So what period did the comic strips come out?
Well,
Before or
Before
after?
that. Before that.
I think it starts in the mid '50s, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Oh.
The strip has been out well before.
Well, I know the strip has been out longer.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, the Great Pumpkin was established in the comics before the special. For sure.
All right, so answer me this, Alan. If you can't answer this, we got to end this right now. What is a sincere pumpkin patch?
Each year the great pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch that he thinks is the most sincere. He's got to pick this one. He's got to. I don't see how a pumpkin patch can be more sincere than this one. You can look all around and there's not a sign of hypocrisy. Nothing but sincerity as far as the eye can see.
It's just a pumpkin patch that really, really means well and believes that it's a pumpkin patch and it's Halloween.
And as Linus goes on to say, there's no hypocrisy in this pumpkin patch. So does
Far
that
as the
mean
eye
like
can see.
is there just pumpkins and no apples?
Right.
When I went
right.
to go pumpkin picking as a kid, there'd be apple picking as well.
Oh.
So I guess to be a hypocrite is to go pumpkin picking and then go apple picking as well.
Or
And
does
if-
that make it more sincere because it's another real
Well, no,
apple
he
patch?
he says a sincere pumpkin patch. He does
Okay.
not say a sincere pumpkin and apple patch. Okay,
No.
all right. So there you go. I guess we came down to this. Okay.
I don't think they ever really grow pumpkins underneath apple trees, so they're kind of always two separate things.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
so
mean, they can be in the same farm.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess we got to the bottom of that mystery.
Yeah. All
All right, Alan. Good night. Thank you for coming. All right. Now back to you.
Yeah. So, Alan, now I know you said that at 14 you kind of switched to doing Halloween like shows for the kids in
Haunting,
your neighborhood.
yeah.
Haunting,
home,
yeah.
Home haunting is, I believe, the term.
Right. But that eventually transformed into doing Halloween shows for an elementary school in Los Angeles. So how far does that go back? And are they Alan Sanborn originals?
Yes. So what happened was like I said, we did musical shows from 1990 to 2012. Then sadly, my mom passed away and we were able to do one last show that year after she passed. But then we had to sell the house. And conveniently, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it was fate, but the next year, my daughter started kindergarten in 2013, and they did a haunted house at her school, Wonderland Elementary. So I came in, and being me, I said, well, can I do a little musical number? So at the end of the haunted house, we had this little like 2-minute scene with this skeleton that would sing a little song to them with pumpkins backing him up as a chorus, and everybody really liked it. So I decided for some weird reason to make it an ongoing storyline for the 6 years that Gracie was there. So each year the skeleton story would advance a little bit. And I asked Gracie after a couple of years, I said, well, what would you like to see happen with the skeleton? And she said, I want to see him get a family. So by the 3rd year, he'd met a female skeleton. By the 4th year, they got married and they had kids. They took trick-or-treating. And by the last year, they were ready to go to school.
So this is a franchise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
my
it was a 6-year cycle of the skeleton story. Yes.
How
and
cute.
then after that, they kept asking me back. So I let the skeletons rest, but we keep doing shows every year. So a couple of them have been repeats of old shows we did back in the day at Midvale at my mom's house. But yeah, it's always a Sanborn original.
And so the kids in the school, what ages would be able to perform in the play?
They can't actually. For some reason, that's a rule there that the kids at the school cannot appear in the shows.
Oh.
So even when Gracie was there, if I were filming something to use within the show, I could use her, but she couldn't appear live in it. And now that she could appear live in it, she's always got her school, she's in high school now and has school that day. So I've never gotten her to be in one of the shows yet, but I'm still trying.
Oh, I just figured that when we did plays in my school, all the kids were the performers.
Right?
Okay,
Yeah.
so then you brought your own shows in for the kids. Okay.
Right, so the kids would go through a maze.
In fact, this year we were redoing Halloween Hysteria, which was my very first musical show. It's like a 5-6 minute song. It's on YouTube. Actually, you can see the original production of it. But yeah, if anybody I don't know when this is airing, but if anybody out there wants to come be in it in Laurel Canyon on Friday morning, Friday the 27th, I could use some backup performers.
How fun. So now Halloween Hysteria, it's on YouTube. What is your YouTube channel, or where would that be on YouTube?
It's under Alan Sanborn. I know that. You can find it there with a few other things. I'd love to get all the shows up there, but at some point I'll get around to doing that. I think that's the only actual one of the shows that's up. But there's a lot of other things, a lot of video. I did a video Halloween in quarantine a few years back when we were all locked away and couldn't do a show. So that's up there, and lots of other stuff.
We'll link that in the show
Lots
notes.
of Star Wars stuff, by the way. But
Oh yeah. Alan, you've been on the show many times, always telling us about your great big Star Wars productions, and I think you're the first person I ever really knew who had made these Star Wars fan films, and not just like the little cheesy things that you had big productions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Indoctrination, Man of Tatooine are probably the two big ones. Yeah.
Well, I'm very glad that you were proactive in recording your Halloween shows, because you talk to a lot of people who have these same kind of backgrounds and doing a lot of shows, and you ask them, "Oh, where can we see them?" It's like, "Oh, I didn't think about recording them." Like,
yeah, you gotta record them. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
All right, but this Halloween season, you did something different. You were a professional maze ghoul at Six Flags Magic Mountain Fright Fest here in LA.
Isn't that a great professional title, Maze Ghoul?
That's amazing. So we want to know.
I get it. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, we want to know we want to know everything, but first let's start with what the audition process was like.
All right. Well, basically, this was just the first time I guess I ever wasn't. I had just finished another job and I was looking for something, and I saw the ad for Magic Mountain's Fright Fest. My skeleton has just collapsed on me.
Wait a minute, is this one of these skeletons from your shows?
No, he usually rides around in my car during Halloween season.
Oh, that's cute.
So I just thought, why not? I mean, it's like I've been haunting my whole life. Why not try this? So, and actually, in retrospect, Universal would have been much closer for me. But anyway, I went to Magic Mountain, and the audition, they brought us in and asked us all the questions, and then they did have a little audition. I was brought in with another woman who was there together, and they said, okay, basically, think of a spooky character you might want to do at Magic Mountain, and gave me a few seconds to think about it, and they said, okay, go. That was the audition. So I just launched into some crazed cemetery caretaker, inviting people into his haunted graveyard, and she ended up being my ghoul or whatever it was there. And so anyway, I guess they liked it. So I got hired.
All right.
I got put into Vault 666 is the name of the maze I'm in, and it's one of the older ones at Magic Mountain. What tends to happen, I think, with older mazes is they're kind of forgotten about. So I got in there and I said, okay, and so we got made up, and we had these weird like black lines coming out of our eyes, like something was leaking out of us or something and everything. And I was like,
You mean something like this?
yeah, something like
All right,
that.
all right,
Exactly, something like that.
For those just listening to the podcast, we're showing a picture of Alan Sanborn. Ugh. Yeah, so explain this look here.
Okay, so that's what I asked. I said, so what's the story of this maze? And no one could tell me. And I said, what are we? Are we ghouls? Are we zombies or what? No, you're not zombies, because there's another zombie maze. But they said, anyway, finally, the only thing I could get anybody to tell me was that somebody had, it was like a Pandora's box kind of thing. Somebody had opened something and we'd all been cursed. And that was the only story I could get. And I was like, there's no way anyone walking into this maze would pick up on that. all through the maze, there's little auction signs for various items, but it's dark and you're rushing through. So most people would never notice that. So when my daughter came on opening night, and I asked her how, what did you think? And she said, your maze was the weakest because there was no discernible theme to it.
Oh.
Now I was in the back of the maze the first night, and actually having a lot of fun. I found a door I could hide behind. People would have to push it open, which creeped people out to have to actually open a door. And I would hide behind it. And then just when they decided that they were safe and started moving forward, I would slip behind them and go, "Look what the cat dragged in." And then launch into a whole spiel. So I started trying to enter the auction house kind of concept into it, trying to sell my soul to them and stuff like that. Come inside. Everyone's down, so you'll have a great time. Some, I guess, big vlogger came through on opening night. And if you watch his video, I'm not that impressed with my performance there, but he just keeps saying afterwards, that last guy was great. Boy, he was really good. Because I was like, okay, cool. Anyway, so I went to the head of the maze and I said, I don't think anybody knows what this maze is. Could I write a little entry thing for it and do it up front in the front room? And she said, well, you have to get approval. So I went through all the approvals. And I wrote a little introduction, and everybody in the house really liked it. And they were all like, oh, wow, this actually gives us some direction and some idea of what we're doing, and gives people coming through some idea of what the whole thing is. So I got the approval, and so I changed my costume. The costume you saw there is actually my own. The original thing they provided me was just like a shirt and pants, and it's something I would have worn out in the street any day. But anyway, so I provided my own little auctioneer kind of costuming. And then I got to start doing a jump scare for the first few people that came in. And then I would tell this little story about Vault 666 and what the maze was all about.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I've kind of I've been referred to now as the host of the maze.
Okay, so instead of being in the back, are you now in the front?
I am in the front. I'm in the front room of Vault 666. Okay. Yes, I'm the first thing you see when you come in.
That's awesome.
It was funny. So I, pushing it as far as I could, I actually got this bell so that when I could jump out, I could ring it out. Welcome to Vault 666. And it was great. I got approval for it because you have to get approval for everything. But it turns out it was kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge approval, which I didn't realize. So one day I'm coming in after I've used it a couple of days. I'm walking in the front gate at the security, and we have to walk through these scanners, right, for metal detectors. And I said, you know what's funny is that I walk through the metal detector every day with this big old bell, and it doesn't set it off. Well, that turned out not to be such a good idea because the guy's like, what's the bell for? Oh, it's a prop. It's been approved. No props have been approved. You have to take it back to your car. Anyway, it ended up being
security was telling you this?
Yes, this is the security at Magic Mountain would not let me bring it in. So I had to go to the head to say, you know, to get an official request for it. But they decided that this was too dangerous. Someone could take it away from me and beat someone with it. So I can't use it anymore.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
that's a big thing. Death by bell. You hear about that all the time.
All the
So
time, yeah.
You understand the concern, right?
Especially at Christmas time.
I mean, that's a big brass bell. That's pretty big prop.
Yeah, I'm thinking of slipping it on Halloween night, but anyway.
Yeah. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna fire me? After all I've done for you in giving this maze legitimacy, you're gonna fire me for that?
Wow.
Now, hopefully, the security guard doesn't watch your podcast.
Yes. Oh, yes.
We'll make sure he doesn't.
No.
But actually, I'm going to get a gavel because there's also a little stand there inside the front room that I'm trying to figure out how to get behind it so I can bang the gavels. And,
there you go.
666.
Yeah, just make sure it's not brass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, does your ghoul maze monster have a name?
You know, a lot of the people did name themselves. And so for a while, I was calling myself Marcellus Graves, which is a character that I used to have in a live action role playing game by Richard Becker. I was a wraith, and that was his name. And he was always trying to track down the vampire who had killed him, and he never knew what happened to his fiance. So, but actually, probably the more appropriate one is just to go with Old Man Holloway, because I think he's probably along those lines. That's my classic character from a Halloween lesson, a little Super 8 film I made way back in the day. So I think that's probably the better choice for this character.
Now, judging by the scratchiness of your voice right now, and believe me, I know that scratchiness after every holiday season. That's how my voice sounds. At Universal, they have everything pre-recorded, so those performers are never using their voices. So I guess at Six Flags, it's all you. It's all organic.
And not only do we not pre-record, which I'm glad about. I hate pre-recording, but you know, I hate lip syncing. Let's put it that way. Anyway, but they also don't bother to turn down the very loud soundtrack behind me, even though I request, could you turn it down a little in the front room so I don't have to yell so much?
Yeah.
So it can get pretty taxing. There are parts of it that are fine, but there are parts where it gets very loud and I have to kind of yell to be heard over it.
Okay.
And if you have, sometimes it's great. Like Thursday and Sunday nights are fabulous. You know, we get a reasonable amount of people coming through, and sometimes I can be doing my spiel for like 2 or 4 people, and I can be fairly quiet about it and conversational. But if the room's packed, you got to project. And so after 4 nights of that, you know, Thursday through Sunday, by Sunday, you know, by Monday morning, I'm a little hoarse.
Now, I don't want to freak you out, but is your house right now haunted? We're hearing this very haunting laugh, and your background just fell down.
Oh.
now it's a ghost.
Now it's haunted. Yes. The ghostly laugh you're hearing is my daughter's dove, Hato.
That's your dove?
Yes, a pet dove, and she likes to join in the conversation whenever there's talking going on.
Oh my god! I thought that was like the skeleton making a skeleton noise.
I can bring her over for a second if you want me to.
Sure.
Sure.
All right,
okay.
hang on 1 second. Let me
Oh
just
my
bring her in.
goodness!
You stay there.
That was a real living bird.
He's got more pumpkins back there.
Oh my gosh!
Now we'll just talk to the skeleton.
How is it to ride around with Alan all Halloween season?
When is enough?
Do you like to freak people out?
Okay, this is Hato.
Oh, well, hello, Hato.
Oh,
hi.
Hey there.
She's very, very nice and very tame, and she's just like whenever anyone's talking, she likes to join in the conversation. So,
Hato, speak, Hato.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not a command.
Hato, do you
Roll over.
Do you like Halloween, Hato?
Sometimes. What?
Do you like Halloween, Hato?
She's like, I don't know what that is. Eventually, if we stayed here long enough, she would fly into my hat and then she would crow. But she'd also probably end up pooping on me, so I'll probably put her back.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Say goodbye, Hato. Say goodbye to all
Bye,
the nice
Hato.
people.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I thought that was like a little voice box.
Me
or
too.
maybe like a kitty.
Me too.
I didn't think it was a bird.
Mm-mm.
I'm so used to it, I don't even notice it. So it's sort of like just the background sound to me, you know. You move
Wow.
over there. This skeleton is determined to lean on me.
once
The skeleton
take
wants
center
to
screen.
be on your shoulder there.
Yes, yes.
All right, so you said you work from Thursday through Sunday, but how
Right.
long is a shift? And do they give you like scare breaks so you can be at
Oh,
your
yeah.
scariest?
And then do you have an understudy, someone who fills in for you while you're away?
Yeah.
No, no one seems to want to do what I do or wants to bother to learn the speech. So when I leave, there's one guy, his name is Lucas, nicely enough. He's a high school student, but he works he works in the little room right behind me. And so there's a part in my speech where I say that everyone in the auction house has been cursed, are trapped, and I go within these walls and bang on the wall. So he started banging back.
Oh.
And it's really effective. Like, people are really startled by it. Like, I guess just because there's any kind of interaction with something besides just us in the room. And he's really good at what he does right behind in the little room behind me, haunting them and stuff as they come through. So it works really well when he's there. He isn't always there. So I have some interesting insights on amusement parks, which I always wondered about, at horror amusement parks. Because I've been going to Knott's for 50 years, right? Well, no, I haven't really. I've been going since about 1985, but
Not Scary Farm?
yeah, Not Scary Farm and then Universal. And what I would notice is you'd go through some great maze early in the night and all these all these characters in there, and it was really great. And then you'd say, hey, let's go through that again later, and it would be practically empty. There'd be hardly anybody in it. And I now know the reason for this. So there's a little tip for you. So if you go, we open at 7:00. For like that first hour, come through the maze, everybody's in there, you'll get the best possible version of it. At 8:00, they send half the people on break for 45 minutes. So suddenly you got half of your staff. Then they come back, the other half go for 45 minutes. So literally for an hour and a half, you're going through a half full maze. And then after, maybe you get another half hour or so of everybody there, and then they will send everybody for a 15-minute break, and then the other half for a 15-minute break. So basically by the end, on a Thursday or Sunday, it's 7 to 11, 2 hours of that, you're getting a half full maze. So if you can, the mazes you want to go to, try to hit as many as you can early on, because usually that first hour is great. And then it's, you're taking your chances.
and another good tip is to start at the back of the park and work your way forward, because everyone else goes to the mazes at the front of the park.
Right.
Well, you go to the ones in the back and they're empty. It's the beginning of the shift, and all those ghoul maze monsters, they're ready to go. They're hyped up.
Yeah.
But at the end of the night, it's like, boo, just keep on moving.
Yeah.
And we've dealt with that a couple of times.
That's somewhat on Fridays when we stay open till 12, and especially Saturdays when we stay open to 1. Those extra couple hours, you really, really feel it.
Wow.
Now, are most of the ghouls there high school kids?
Most of either high school or maybe like up to early 20s.
Right.
I'm one of the few older older actors, I guess you'd call it, scare actors.
Well, what's one of the most memorable or funniest moments that's happened to you this season? Oh, apparently, Shin Hoto. What's your bird's name?
Hati?
Oh, Hato.
Oh,
Hato.
Hato thinks something's funny. Hato, what do you got?
I don't know. It's interesting just how people react to you. I mean, people have all kinds of. I get called all kinds of things. So when I'm made up, the face is all crazy, and I'm usually got stuff in the beard and stuff, and yet you'd be amazed at how many people call me Santa Claus.
Oh!
Kids especially will call me Santa, and I'm always like, if I'm the Santa that's coming to your house, you've been a very naughty boy.
Now, who thinks, what kind of Santa
I don't know.
looks like this? And I'd be afraid of those kids.
Yeah, and you've made your beard orange.
Yeah.
Although I guess in the maze itself, that could be
That
like
was
lower
literally
lighting.
so that was for the first night of October, which is for us the Eve of the Black Month. I had to leave early that night so we could go to our Eve of the Black Month celebration to welcome in October. And so that night, in honor, I said, can you do it? Usually it's like a red base or a purple base, and I said, can you do orange? So I'll probably do that again on Halloween night. Just to,
That's
it's
fun.
usually red or purple. That was actually an exception that night. I will say this one thing did happen with the bell. So when the guy who approved it said, you can't ring it in someone's face, and you can't like keep ringing it, right? You can just like
Yeah.
use it when you come out. And so I would just use it when I came out, and then maybe like once later, vault 666 or whatever, you know. But so what I do in the front room, and of course, if you're going to come the next few nights, this is a spoiler, but so there's like a curtain hanging there in the hallway, and I'll be behind the curtain. So people will start making for that hallway, and I can see, I have a little hole there that I can see them coming. So I will jump out and, you know, slap the wall. Well, so the bell was much better. I'll jump out and say, you know, welcome to the Baphomet Auction House, which is a name I coined, and now it's kind of sticks. So we couldn't ring it in their faces, right? So what I would do is I'd step out and I'd have the bell down low. I'd go, welcome to the Baphomet Auction House. Well, I'm looking through the hole and I see this woman approaching. So I'm watching her. What I don't see is that she's got a little girl with her.
Oh, no.
So when I step out, I ring the bell right in this girl's face. And the girl screams for 10 solid seconds, the loudest scream I've ever heard in my life. It was just like, and I was like, wow. And so as soon as she was done, I said, that was an amazing scream. And then she was fine.
How many little kids do you see in the amusement park?
You'd be amazed how many people bring like babies through. Like a lot of times I'll be about to jump out and scare them, and I'll realize they're holding like an infant sleeping, and I'll be
sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. Like
what kind of parent would bring their kid to a fright fest like this and then bring them through a maze where you have ghoul monsters such as yourself jumping out? Unless it's like a prop baby, so this is their way of saying don't scare me. Yeah.
Well, I have seen people carrying stuffed animals that I thought were babies, and then I like toned it down and then realized, oh, it's a stuffed animal.
Oh, that's kind of smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever we go to these not scary farm or horror nights and you see these like 4 or 5 or 6-year-olds, like, hey, are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah. This one little girl the other night, she goes, after I jumped out, she goes, please don't scare me. And I looked at her and I said, you do know this is a haunted house, right? As soon as I said that, she smiled. She goes, yes. And then she was fine.
How funny.
Well, have you heard from other Maze Ghoul monsters any kind of stories and good stories or frightening stories?
I hear the tales of like the people that get scared and end up striking out and hitting people and stuff like that. Oh. I have yet to have that happen. No one has attacked me.
Yeah, that fight or flight response.
When I jump out initially, if that first person, it's really hard to get the timing right. You have to get it just right, because if they're too far away, it doesn't scare them too much. If they're too close, they have the momentum to keep going and they don't want to stop. So a lot of times, if they just want to keep coming, I'll just have to step aside and say, "Come right in," and forego my speech for that group. But a lot of the men will. You can tell that there's that kind of, bravado kind of, they're not happy to have some guy jumping into their face like 3 or 4 inches away from their face. Mm-hmm. And so I've taken to now after like when I do that and I'm trying to get everybody else to come into the room, I'll be like, I hope I didn't startle you. And then they'll usually go, oh, no. I wouldn't dream of it, when obviously I've just jumped out to startle them. But usually it's a good laugh. So
yeah, we've seen these big rough and tough guys like, oh, no one's gonna scare me. I'm not here to be scared. Like, well, as performers ourselves, even if we're not scared, we'll still play into it because we know how hard it can be for the monsters or ghouls or any kind of show. Right. You want to help them because it's very hard to sustain, like you were saying, all night long. So if someone's going to get into their storyline or appreciate what they're doing, it helps the performer that much.
Well, and as a performer, you know that when you are given energy from the audience, you can take that energy and make a better performance.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we get, especially early in the evening when we open, sometimes a lot of teenagers come in and a lot of them will just jabber like through my speech, and it's really irritating because I'm trying to be heard anyway, and hard to set the tone when there's kids jabbering away. This one time I remember though, I was looking through the hole and I see this guy coming. He's at least a foot taller than me, obviously a bodybuilder. I mean, he's got like Superman physique, and I see him coming. I'm like, oh God, I got to jump scare this guy. I jump out. The guy practically falls over. I mean, he's so startled, and he was just the coolest guy. He just like laughed and thought, he thought it was really great. And another guy back further in the maze knew exactly what I was talking about. He goes, "Yeah, the same thing happened with me." This guy very much stood out, but he was great. He had total good sense of humor about it. So it's nice when they're like that, when they're playing along.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely the kids who have the mindset that I'm going to get through this maze as quickly as possible and show that I can't be scared. And
like you waited 2 hours for that.
Why did you pay money for that? It's
right.
like, why did you pay money and stand in line to not experience the maze?
Yeah,
and the fun of it. I don't.
Even the littlest things I'll just play into, just because I want to have fun with it. I'm there to have fun.
Yeah.
I have to say, most adults are really cool.
Okay.
I mean, like it's really fun when I'm telling my story to like watch people's reactions and watch them getting absorbed into it and stuff like that. When they're attentive, you're absolutely right what you're saying about the audience. It really feeds back, and then it makes my performance better and puts me in a better mood and everything. If you can see that they're into it, and I get lots and lots of compliments afterwards. Although, of course, I have to stay in character, so I have to take them that way, but. I do. You know what I will do? Like if I like one kid who's particularly keeps making comments and stuff, when they start coming in, I'll just look at them and go, "Oh, they've been waiting for you." And a lot of times they'll just go, "Oh."
Yeah, good.
And I've had adults who were watching them and also annoyed by the kid, like laugh at that and appreciate it. So.
Right. As a veteran of Hollywood, of haunted theme parks, how does this one compare to a Universal Horror Nights or Not Scary Farm?
I have to admit, I think Knott's is the classic. I think it's got the best atmosphere overall. The old West Town and everything. It just the entire atmosphere feels much more Halloween-y to me. Universal, I'm amazed at how they change every maze every year. I think that's great. Like even Knott's will only do like 3 new ones each year. And so I'd have to say Fright Fest is like the third behind those two for sure. I mean, they don't have we don't have the budget. They don't have the budget for it. But what I found kind of fun for me is because of that, I think it's a little more like the Wild West, where you can kind of do your own thing a little more. Like I said, I stepped into something where nobody could tell me anything about the maze and totally kind of made it my own.
Right. And you definitely wouldn't be able to do that at like Not Scary Farm, where they've been conceiving that maze for half the year. Right.
Provided my own costume, came up with my own thing. I just made a whole Baphomet auction house book that I have now sitting on the front thing with these skeleton hands holding it. I'm still hoping to move and do my jump scare from behind there. The idea is to get everybody into the room first so I can scare everyone, because usually I can only scare the first couple people. The problem is I re-rigged the curtain so that I could close it completely, and then I could draw it from over there thinking, oh, this will be great. The curtain will be closed, people will come in. Doesn't matter. Curtain could be closed. They just will go straight for that hallway and push through. So it doesn't work. I'm still doing the jump scare. So I think I'm going to literally try this week a sign that says, "Please wait here." And see if that works.
So that as you've been going along throughout the season, you've been building on your own experiences and see what works and what doesn't work. So do you think next year you'll come back and maybe try for a position as a producer of a maze?
It's possible. I do like it, and I could see being in a position that has a little more creative input. I would kind of hate not to be a scare actor, because that's actually the fun of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I think anyone who produces these kind of mazes should be a scare actor, just to know.
There's a very definite delineation between the people who are running it and the people who are acting in it.
Okay.
So if I could kind of do both.
Right.
I also actually gave a copy of my Halloween CD from some of the old shows to my boss and kind of suggested, because they don't have any show this year. I was like, I have been doing musical shows for the past 30 years. So if you guys ever were interested in something along those lines,
Oh, they're sitting on a
Wow.
gold mine with you.
Yeah, if that ever gets approved, we're definitely going to Fright Fest just to see you.
Yeah, it should be Alan Sanborn's Fright Fest,
Yeah, no
brought to
kidding.
you by Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
That's gonna happen.
Alan Sanborn and the All Hallows Players Fright Fest.
With special guest Paul Lind.
In terms of, remember I was talking about the break situation. Another thing you should know is that kids under 18 get sent home early. So that's another thing. And toward the end, you lose a bunch of your scare actors because they all, on Friday and Saturday nights, they get sent home at 10. On Sunday nights, they'll come in. We open at 7. They have to clock out by 8, so they get pulled out of the maze about 7:45. So they're in there for like 45 minutes. It's kind of ridiculous they even come in, but so yeah, that's it. So your best time, if you go, get there when the park opens, hit as many mazes as you can, like in that first hour.
Yep, and start in the back.
Yeah.
All right, now we've established that you're Mr. Halloween. However, you have one more step to take before we crown you as Emperor of Halloween.
Yes.
We've concocted some Halloween trivia, and if you
Right.
pass, you get to be Emperor Halloween, and we'll let people over there at Six Flags know about it. If you happen to fail, once again, we got to let them know. So this might be your last week of being a ghoul monster. I'm sorry, it has to go this way.
I hope I do better than I did with the sincere pumpkin patch question.
All right, let's start off with some Halloween history.
Okay.
All right, question number 1. In what country did Halloween originate?
I would say Ireland.
Ding, 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 ding.
That is correct.
All right, 1 for 1.
All right. Every Halloween, Linus must find what kind of pumpkin patch to wait for the great pumpkin.
The one that is the most sincere. That's kind of a callback there.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want to make sure that you were paying attention to our earlier conversation.
That was a freebie.
All right, question number 3. In what country was the first written account of children using the phrase trick or treat on Halloween? Do you want multiple choice?
Sure.
Was it Mexico? Was it Canada? Was it Toluca Lake? What country?
I'm going to go with Canada in that case.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes.
That is correct.
That's what
I think I have heard that before. I mean, I think of it as a very American thing, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. All right. Next question. In what decade did trick-or-treating as we know it today start gaining popularity in America? Was it... Oh, well,
Go ahead,
guess.
go ahead.
Okay. Was it the 1830s, the 1930s, the 1970s, or the 1920s?
Well, that definitely made it much easier. 1930s then. Yeah, that's a question that I've been fascinated by forever. And I used to ask every older person I could, like, when do you remember trick-or-treating starting? So, yeah, there's that kind of slide anywhere from the 1930s up to like the 1950s is, I think, when it really became super popular. But
Do you want to rethink that answer?
Do
you want to rethink that answer?
1930s, really? Not, wait, so give me those choices. Oh.
The 1830s, 1930s, 1970s, or 1920s?
Oh, sorry. Okay, I assumed the last one was after 1970, so I didn't. I'll go 1920s then.
And you got it correct.
That's what I was going to say. Really, 1920s to 1950s is that whole
Yes.
evolution.
All
Right.
That was your one get out of jail free card, okay? All right. What is the fear of Halloween called?
Samhainophobia, something like that.
You know what? We'll give you that. Yeah, Samhainophobia. So
Like Sam Hain.
I think you were close enough.
Well, I think Samhain is really pronounced Samhain. It's Celtic, so Samhainophobia, I would say.
Well, then he pronounced it better
we
than we
always
did.
called him, and by him I mean I originally read, in the books and in Ray Bradbury's The Halloween Tree and everything, that Samhain, as we called him then, was the Celtic god of the dead, which turns out not to be true. It turns out to be something that some historians created a couple of years, misinterpreted a couple hundred years back, and now it gets used a lot by right-wing Christian groups to attack Halloween. But But I've always thought he was this great character. But anyway, I think it's maybe Halloween 2, the movie, where I learned, it's actually pronounced Samhain, not Samhain. So
Yeah, 'cause in the first Halloween movie, Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis, says Samhain.
Yeah, he
Okay.
does. But yeah, anyway, but it actually is pronounced Samhain. That is actually the Celtic. That's what the Celtic holiday is that became Halloween, Samhain.
See, that's why you're Mr. Halloween on your way to becoming Emperor Halloween.
Except that I didn't hear the 1920s. Sorry, my brain had tuned it out already.
The bird was chirping in your ear. We get it. All right, this next category is horror movie taglines.
Okay.
All right, what film does this go to?
In space, no one can hear you scream.
That would be Alien.
You are correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
Jaws. I don't
Ding,
consider
ding,
either
ding.
of those really Halloween films, but okay.
No, the horror films. Horror films.
Okay.
Yes.
Horror movie taglines, yes.
Yes.
Okay. The night he came home.
That would be Halloween.
All right.
Wow.
Michael
Good
Myers.
deal. Check in, relax, take a shower.
Psycho? Psycho 2. No. It's got to be something Psycho related.
You know what? I'm going to say Psycho was correct, but this is the 1998 Vince Vaughn masterpiece.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I was getting they wouldn't have made that kind of joke with the original, but
Right, it would have given everything away. At
the remake.
1998, we already knew what happens in the shower.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. And finally, man is the warmest place to hide.
Man is the warmest. That's the Thing, right?
There you go.
Correct. Ding, 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 ding.
John Carpenter's The Thing, not to be confused with Howard Hawks' The Thing. Yes.
Exactly. All right. This next category is name the flavor that goes with each Monster cereal.
No.
All right. Blueberry.
Blueberry.
Frankenberry.
Strawberry.
Fruit Brute.
Ooh, I've never actually eaten that.
I'll say it again. Fruit Brute.
Yeah, well, fruit flavored is.
There you go. All right.
That's right.
All right. Lastly, Carmella Creeper.
Caramel.
Close.
Keep on going. Carmella Creeper.
With fruit.
Oh, it's a fruit.
Well, you got caramel is
Caramel?
correct, but
What fruit does caramel go on?
What's embarrassing is I have a box of this in my car right now. And I haven't tried it yet. It's a new one. Shoot. Caramel.
All right, this is a brand new Monster cereal that I did not know existed until I was writing up these questions.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
Like I said, I just bought a box of it at Target, and I haven't tried it yet.
Well,
right,
here's a hint. What fruit does caramel go best with?
Oh, apple.
Apple.
Very
there you go.
good.
All right, and
Now I
this
feel really stupid. Yes. Okay, that's pretty obvious. Yes.
Carmella
Yeah.
Creeper. So yeah, this brings the Monster cereals up to date. But
They also put out a Monster Mash cereal, which has her featured along with all the other monsters from the boxes. And I thought it was going to be all of the cereals mixed, which would have been awesome, but it's not. It was good, but I thought it'd be really cool to have Count Chocula and Boo
wait a
Berry.
minute, if you're calling it Monster Mash, it should be all the cereals mashed together.
Right? That's exactly.
But it's
Who
not?
dropped the ball on that?
I don't know.
General
weird.
Mills, we're coming for you.
I can't lie. I was disappointed that it was not that.
If you notice, I didn't even go near the Yummy Mummy, which is another
Yeah.
fruit flavored Monster cereal. It only had a very short time span, and no one liked it.
Yeah, you never. I mean, the only ones I ever see every year usually are Chocula, Frankenberry, and Boo Berry. The others almost never make the stores.
And I don't really care for their up to date artwork. Give us the old 1970s artwork, and I'm all over it. Yeah. Every Halloween, Sarah brings me home a box of each one from Target.
Nice.
That's a good wife. All right, we have one last category.
Oh, okay.
This is called Casket of Candy.
Okay. How many colors of M&Ms are there?
Oh my God. Let's see.
Are there 10,
Oh.
100, or 25?
Are we talking about a normal bag of M&Ms, or we're talking about?
Overall, how many
Yes.
colors? How many colors? Are there 10, 100 or 25?
I'm gonna say 25.
You got it! Woo! I was getting really worried for Alan.
I know.
10 seemed too few, and 100 seemed. I didn't think I
many.
could come up with that many colors. So
All right, every time you get one, you get one right, you got to ring your bell.
no.
All right.
All right. What is the most common Halloween candy?
We went to different websites just to confirm, and everyone said this.
Okay.
Right.
Is it king size chocolate bars, Tootsie Rolls, or everlasting gobstoppers?
Tootsie Rolls.
Ding! Oh, ring the bell! Ring the bell! All right. Now, I don't agree with this next one, but what is the most hated candy to be given out on Halloween?
I don't agree with it either, and I think I know what you're gonna say. Candy corn.
Candy corn is right. Ring the bell.
I love candy corn. I'm a
I love
huge
candy.
I like it
I
too.
love candy corn too, but all I can eat are 2 candy corns.
Right?
That's
they're,
about it.
They're super sweet.
Well, you
Yeah.
just need one for each fang. See,
Yeah.
making fangs.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah,
each.
but all that sugar gets up in your. Ew. All right, now
Be a little vampire instantly with 2 candy corns.
that 36%, according to newsnationnow.com, 36% of people hated candy corn. Of
Okay.
all the candies, 36%. A close second is what?
Ooh, close second on what they hate,
Yes.
and it's candy, right?
Yes, we'll give you a multiple choice of one: orange circus peanuts.
Oh,
That's the
that's
answer?
the multiple choice.
Yes.
I like those too. Okay, orange circus peanuts.
Oh, there you go.
I don't like those.
Yeah, I for those I can have one. I can have 2 candy corns, but only 1 orange circus peanut.
If it doesn't have chocolate in it, it's not worth the calories.
But both of those things, the candy corn is basically mellow creams. They make them for all the holidays. They come in little different shapes for all the holidays, different colors. So I've always loved those. As a matter of fact, my favorite bag for Halloween, Brock's used to put out a bag where they had little haystacks, moons, bats, little devils. And I can never find them anymore. That was like my favorite bag. So now I just usually buy the ones with the candy corn mixed with pumpkins. But
Yeah. Oh, those little pumpkins.
Those pumpkins are good.
Those
Yeah.
are really, really
But they
good.
also do the circus peanuts. They make them for Easter and different holidays too, with
Yes.
the little bunnies and chicks and things. Yeah.
What is your favorite candy to get on Halloween? Like, what would you trade all your other candy for with all the kids?
Usually my favorites are either Three Musketeers or Milky Way. Those are the
Okay.
2 I crave. And then I've done a lot of trading over the years because I don't like anything with nuts. So if I get a Snickers or anything with nuts in it, you can have it. But yeah, give me one of those Milky Ways there.
Okay.
We'll give you all of our Milky Ways for all of your Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yep.
That's all we ever
Fair.
want.
Although if it's Reese's Pieces, I'm keeping it because I love ET. So
Oh, okay.
not
Gotcha.
the peanut butter cups.
And was it this year they stopped giving away Reese's peanut butter cups at Disneyland?
they did.
At Oogie Boogie Night.
That was a couple
Aw.
years ago. Yeah, we're sad. Yeah,
That's
they still
sad
have
too.
all the other. They have Snickers, they have M&Ms and stuff, but no Reese's peanut butter cups.
Bags of apples.
Mm-hmm.
No one takes those.
I had so much fun taking Gracie to that for years, but we haven't been in a few years. But yeah, that was great.
It's
That's where
worth it.
she learned to trick or treat at Disneyland.
Aw, that's so
When she was
cute.
like 2 years old. Yeah, that's where she actually learned how to walk up to people and say trick or treat. And
Oh. All right, one last question.
Okay.
And all right, winner takes it all. Are you ready?
Mhm.
How many licks does it take on an average to reach the center of a Tootsie Pop?
let's see, 1,
2, 3, 3.
3.
3 is correct! Woo! You are the Emperor of Halloween.
Yay!
You are the Emperor of Halloween. This will be a very
Now
good
you
call we
shall
make to
be
your boss over at Six
destroyed.
Flags.
All right.
There you go. You passed.
Yes. Now,
Thank
Alan,
you.
if our Skywalkers want to get a hold of you, where can they find you on social media?
And what are your hours over at Six Flags Alan Sanborn Fright Fest?
You can always, I'm on Facebook under Alan Sanborn. And if you want to email me, you can at OCT31PM@AOL.com.
October
That
31st.
OCT31 PM was my old license plate on my hearse, so that's where that comes from.
Oh, you should have been named Emperor of Halloween a long time ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
we are late to the party on that one.
I like the fact that the PM means we're not talking Halloween morning here. This is Halloween night.
That is hardcore. All right, now to take us out of this segment, what would the Emperor of Halloween say? Alan, maybe we jumped the gun on this.
You stumped me. You would say, "Have a haunting and bewitching Halloween."
Nice.
So come to Fright Fest. Come in that first hour and see me do my spiel.
Thursday through Sunday?
Thursday through Sunday. And I'll be there on Halloween night as well, which I think is the first time I've ever worked on a Halloween. I always said I would never stay at a job where they made me work Halloween, but when the job is Halloween, it's kind of hard to say no.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes
All right,
sense.
Skywalkers, go see Alan Sanborn, Halloween night, Six Flags, Magic Mountain for the Horror Fest Bonanza.
Happy Halloween.
Fright Fest Bonanza.
Happy Halloween, Skywalkers.
I got a rock.
A long, long time ago.
Hello, this is Weird Al Yankovic, and I am skywalking through Neverland.
Under an attack. Shout-outs, Skywalker shout-outs. Which Skywalkers get props from here in Neverland? Who was tweeted out? Shout-out. Who was photobombed? Shout-out. Who was shared a post? Shout-out.
It is our 10th year of podcasting, and we still have some awesome anniversary messages from our Skywalkers. So this time we're going to hear from Luella.
Hi, Richard and Sarah. It's Luella, and I want to say happy anniversary for 10 years of skywalking through Neverland. I remember when I first found your podcast, I was looking for a podcast to listen to on my commute. Saw the title, looked like Star Wars, looked like Disney, two things I love, and that's exactly what it was. I really enjoy your podcast, and I remember when I first met you at Run Disney, and you only added to the podcast. You were both so kind and nice and very talented with your great costumes, especially that BB-8. So congratulations on 10 years of this wonderful journey you're going through. I can't wait for 10 more and then some. So happy anniversary.
Thank you very much, Luella Loriola.
Yeah, and I remember meeting her too. I think we were running in a race, and she heard our voices and turned around and said, "Are you skywalking through Neverland?" It's like, yes, we are.
We had our t-shirts. We were just branding everywhere.
And funny enough, I'm going to probably see Luella at the 10K, Run Disney 10K, this Disneyland marathon coming up. So in January. Very exciting.
Thank you once again, Luella Loriola.
Yeah.
Next up is our good podcasting friend, Paul Berry.
Hey guys, Paul Berry here from Window to the Magic, and I just wanted to stop in and take a moment to congratulate you guys on 10 years of podcasting excellence. You guys are some of my longest podcasting friends, and you are some of my best podcasting friends. I love you guys. Your energy and zest for life is just amazing. And so I just wanted to pop in here real quick. You know, I was going to go out to the park and do something fancy and try to get somebody to videotape me walking up Main Street, USA while I'm talking to you and whatever. And I thought, no, I just want to make sure that I get my word to these guys, that they know just how proud I am of the work they've done over the last decade. So congratulations, guys, from me and all of the Window to the Magic podcast crew. We look forward to every single episode you put out, and we're looking forward to another 10 years. Good luck, guys, and we'll see you in the parks real soon.
Aw, how sweet.
Yeah, he was one of the podcasting friends that really helped us springboard
Yeah.
from knowing nothing to
Yeah.
knowing a little bit.
Well, so one of those things, because I know we went and visited a lot of people and got into the Star Wars podcasting world, but he really helped us get into the Disney podcasting universe as well. And yeah, he's just so great with his advice. Anytime I have a question, I can just text him and he'll get back to me. And Window to the Magic, I believe he started in 2008. So how many years is that now?
That's 15 years.
Yeah.
15
He's
years?
like at least 15 seasons at this point.
Yeah, it's a very unique podcast where it's just these sounds of Disney. And he knows a lot about equipment too. He's always like Johnny on the spot when it comes to equipment. So we would always call either your dad or Paul and say, okay, what do we do here?
Technical questions, yes.
Yeah, and both of them really helped out to us getting to this 10-year mark.
Yeah. Stacy, Mrs. Paul Berry. And yes, you can still listen to his podcast, Window to the Magic. Make sure you check that out. It was really helpful during the pandemic, I have to say, when we couldn't go to Disneyland.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now, before we wrap up the show, let's hear one more time from R2-D2 and C-3PO as they give trick-or-treating safety advice.
Okay, R2, we'll go over this one more time. Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. No, it still doesn't make any sense. Why would anybody want to smell feet? Oh, hello, I am C-3PO, and this is my counterpart, R2-D2. We are here once again at Skywalking through Neverland to bring you yet further Halloween safety advice. Today we will look at trick-or-treating. Personally, I would go for an oil bath. That does seem quite a treat. A parent or responsible adult should always accompany younglings on their neighbourhood rounds. If your older younglings are travelling alone, plan and review a route which is acceptable to you and agree on a specific time when they should return. Remain on well-lit streets and always use a sidewalk. If no sidewalk is available, walk or roll at the far edge of the roadway facing oncoming traffic. Only cross the street as a group and on established crosswalks. Never cross between parked cars, speeders, transports, or at driveways. Only go to homes with a porch light on, and never enter a home, car, or speeder for a treat. It could be a trick.
It's a trap!
Because pedestrian injuries are most common to younglings on Halloween, remind trick-or-treaters to stay in a group and communicate where they will be going. Always carry a comlink, or as they are called here, a cell phone, for quick communication. R2, can you think of anything else? Then that should about cover it. We do sincerely hope our Halloween safety advice has been helpful. It was brought to you from Skywalking through Neverland and the American Academy of Pediatrics. So, do take good care of yourselves, and remember, never land on Alderaan, even if they do have the best candy. I knew we should have loaded up when we had the chance.
Well, that wraps up episode 438 of
Skywalking through Neverland. We want to thank Alan Sanborn for coming on the show and sharing all those great tips about going to haunted theme parks this year or for this next week. We also want to thank Simon Wilkie and his friend C-3PO for coming on the show and recording those awesome Halloween safety tips and advice.
Yes.
And we want to thank all you Skywalkers who are in the Sky Chat right now, who are watching the show live, who watch the show on YouTube, who are even listening to the show. But once again, if we want to be honest, we'd much rather have you watch the show on YouTube.
Actually, let us know, Skywalkers. Do you watch on YouTube now? Have you switched? Let us know. And you can always find us on YouTube at just search Skywalking Through Neverland. Now, are you interested in our books? Today in Star Wars History, Parts 1 and 2, and our interactive notebook, Skywalking Through My Fandom, well, they are available now from skywalkingthroughneverland.com/book. And they will be available on November 24th at LostCon at our Pop Culture Trivia Challenge Strikes Back game show. And we are also going to be we're going to have a special holiday special for those books
Yes,
at that game show.
Come on by. Even before the game show, there's going to be an ice cream social. Come on by and pick up some ice cream, win some prizes.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to support Skywalking Through Neverland?
Of course so.
Well, consider supporting us through the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. The Skywalking Force has access to bonus content in the form of our Zoom discussions on the latest Disney Plus shows. We did The Mandalorian, we did Ahsoka, the Book of Boba Fett, the Marvel shows, WandaVision, the Hawkeye show.
Yeah.
And we're going to do, at some point, Loki. I've been kind of busy this last couple of weeks, so we'll get on this Loki soon enough.
Yeah. And that bonus content begins at only $5 a month. So head to skywalkingforce.com, have a look at the options, and thank you so much to those of you who are already part of the Skywalking Force. Every YouTube video features your name in the credits.
Now, look at our Sky Chat here. Shamim Dana. He says he's going to be at our Pop Culture Trivia game show on November 24th at LostCon.
Excellent.
Well, thank you very much, Shamim. Look forward to seeing you there.
Nice.
All right. Now, we want to support our sponsor once again, Small World Vacations, for their support. Thinking of a trip to a Disney park? Well, you can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free of charge. You heard me right. Free of charge. So check it out and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you and give them this witch's cackle. You're getting better and better at that.
I'm getting older.
We are part of the Skywalking Network. Skynet. Where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes and the Talking Apes Halloween special, which we just released this last week.
Ooh, yeah. Have some more Halloween fun. Go check it out right now after this. Yeah. And then also the Max Effects podcast.
The Neverland Clubhouse.
The Neverland Clubhouse and Totally Tell Me Everything are now a part of the Skywalking Through Neverland feed. Yeah, so you can find all the old shows there. We also have Star Warsologies and the YouTube shows Collectopolis and
Today in Star Wars History.
You can also find us on social media. We are at Skywalking Pod for X and Instagram and Threads and whatever, but mostly we're on Instagram and Facebook. So just search there.
I think we're on MySpace more than we are on X.
Yeah, and we're on YouTube, yes. And Mom found us today live by just searching YouTube. So that's how you can do it. Just search YouTube for Skywalking Through Neverland.
Speaking of which, we're on the cusp of the next tier, which is 8,800.
Yes.
So we need like 30 more subscribers.
More subscribers.
So
yes.
if you're subscribing, thank you. If not, please subscribe. Please grab someone's phone, just press subscribe, okay? We would love to get it to that next tier sooner than later.
Okay. Pierre is asking, what about Friendster? Is that like so 2005 or something?
Never heard of Friendster.
I have not. Yeah.
Friendster?
Oh my goodness.
What is this?
Wow.
All right, now don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into the show. And
always remember
those important Halloween safety tips from R2-D2 and C-3PO.
And
Neverland on Alderaan. Hey, look at those names to the left. They are part of the Skywalking Force, our Patreon.
Become a producer yourself and check out all the Disney Plus themed bonus content available depending on the level you subscribe.
Become a member of the elite Skywalking Force at skywalkingforce.com.